All right, guys, welcome to another edition of Hoss Talks RoadShow. I've got some special guests with me. It took some string pulling and everything else, but I've got the Bip, Kenny Bippis. He's best friends with Nixon Stewart, and my best friend Shane Stewart because he signs my paycheck each week. Nixon, we wanted to start with you real quick and say you're like a world-famous gymnast now, and how's gymnastics going?
Good. I really like it.
You really like it?
Yeah.
What's your favorite part about it? Is it the beam, the floor, the cartwheels, the handstands that I teach you how to do, or what?
I'm really good at vault, but I really like beam.
Ooh, the beam.
Mm-hmm.
Bip says that he's going to learn how to do it after you do it. In racing, you like coming out to the races. Who's your favorite drivers?
My Brody and Braxton say I'm their biggest fan.
And are you their biggest fan?
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's Nixon Stewart, Kenny Bippis. We're going to let Nixon go get some work done and let Kenny get some work done too. We'll see you, Kenny. Thanks for stopping by the show. Shane.
That's our crew.
That's our crew. That's it, man. So, Shane, I appreciate you kind of taking time here to chit-chat with me. I had a guest kind of fall through and not come through, but there's some big things happening, man. I mean, you're in your third season at Port City Raceway, and I know season 1 and season 2 were learning curves. Are you still learning as far as this whole process goes, or do you kind of have it figured out?
Oh, you probably know the answer to that.
But the people don't. The people don't.
We're constantly learning here. Obviously, it seems from year to year some things change. We were USAC. Now we're Power Eye Track. It's not really different, but it's a name different, right? The name's a little bit different to the average public person, but and then we obviously tweak our schedules from year to year, and we're still trying to figure that out to give people a little bit of a break, but still get our number of races to make sure we have enough money in the till to get us through our winter months. Sometimes people forget this, the track doesn't make money all winter long, right? So our last race is October. We start back up in March, so we got to make sure we got enough money to make sure we pay all the bills through those months that we don't have any revenue coming in. With that said, we've tried to figure out our schedule to where we can give people breaks, take holidays off, and still get that number that we need. And that part of it's been interesting to figure out. And and then obviously the sponsor side of it's always a battle, and it's a battle that I enjoy. I kind of did the same thing when I was racing with the sprint car teams that I did throughout my career, and that's kind of parlayed a little bit into Port City. And we get a lot of compliments about all the billboards we have around our track, and we work, as a group, we work hard at that to try to keep our track filled up, and that's a time-consuming job, but. We obviously appreciate all of our partners that help us make this place what it is. And I think as a group, we continue to grow. I don't think you're ever going to stop growing, or at least you don't want to. And as far as the learning side of it, the promotion side of it, it's tricky. There's a lot to it. There's a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff that people don't really know, or the people that's been on this side of it understand, but a lot of the racers don't. I didn't. I sure didn't. We would roll into a race and leave our mess there and go on to the next venue. And the amount of work that gets put in to the event and then after the event is pretty time-consuming. But all in all, I think Port's in good shape. I think it's in good hands, and it's something that we cherish here. And we are making this one of the elite micro tracks in the country. So we try to improve things from year to year. We got a new wall up in turns 3 and 4. We put up a new fence. We got my buddy Lance owns a stucco company here in town. They made us a really cool sign out the front. I've always said that I wanted Port to be like Penske, right? When you pull into the place, I want people to say, "Man, this is a really nice place. This is a cool place." So we're going to keep working on it, but it's shaping up nice.
So long-term goals, I mean, I know that you want to add concrete everywhere. You want to have fresh, beautiful grass everywhere. But do you feel like you're on track with your goals that you had whenever you came into this place before you purchased it to where you are now? Do you feel like you're on track with like your overall vision of Port City Raceway, how to grow the legacy? Because it had a legacy whenever you came in. You're just adding that next chapter now.
Yeah, no, I think we're in good shape. The good thing is we still have, the cool thing to us as a group here, we have people that want to have races here, right? Like Talon and Keith Coons, probably two of the biggest micro races in the country now. They want to have their races at Port, so that makes us feel good as a group. And and that's the thing. The weekly races, are what keeps this place jiving through the summer months, and but you still want to have bigger races come and run at your place. So I think we're in good shape. I mean, there's obviously some things I still want to do. There's some big money projects I want to do, and we're going to keep working on those. And when they start getting closer to fruition, then we'll start announcing that stuff. But it may take a couple years for that kind of stuff to happen. But I've actually raced on our track a few times now, and with our added wall, turns 3 and 4 here have always been kind of a nuisance, right? Turn 4 is always a little tough to get off of on the top side, and now that we've got a taller wall, now that we can add a little bit of dirt to it and try to make this a 2-groove track every time you have a group of cars hit the racetrack. And as a racer, that's what you want. As a fan, that's what you want to see. So that part of it is exciting, right? Like the track side of it, and Kevin Rudine and I have this conversation all the time about Skagit. Skagit's a premier facility, but they struggle a little bit with the dirt. And it's always dusty, and the fans get frustrated a little bit. And I'm like, man, you can dump all the money you want on this side, but if your track's not worth a darn, then it doesn't make,
Right.
nobody cares, right? So we're blessed here to have good dirt, and it's dirt that you can manage and work. And, Kenny and all those guys do a great job throughout the night to try to manage that for our racers. And I think, the out-of-town people that don't get to race here a bunch, when they do come here and race, we always hear a bunch of positive vibes, and that to me means a lot.
Means a whole lot. We talk about keeping things to where we're able to roll through the winter months and everything else, and there's always projects on board and everything else. You mentioned the wall and the fence and everything else, and we almost cut that kind of close with just timing and everything else, because like you said, you always have folks wanting to rent the track. You always have folks wanting to do different things. Talk about our sidekick, and we got to give this guy a shout out. Dave came down and helped us out, bailed us out big time. So I want to give a shout out to Dave. Just the undertaking of the wall. You want to do that, the same thing down in turn 1 and 2 is another goal of yours. But just talk about the time that was spent on that. I mean, it was a project that we had to hustle on to try and get done.
Yeah, no, so I obviously reached out to one of our partners here, Wheeler Metals, and they were like, well, here's the deal. Metals at the time when I wanted to do it, metal was still through the roof. So they were telling me, just hang on a minute. After the first of the year, metal should come down, which it did a little bit, and then it actually came down quite a bit more. But like you said, we really couldn't start messing around with the racetrack until after the Chili Bowl. And we literally had practices almost every week after we stopped racing here in October. And so we were busy, trying to maintain the track for the people that rent this place and practice. And, with that said, we couldn't really go in and tear the wall down and rebuild it. But once we got the metal, like you said, my father-in-law, Dave, he came in and made sure it was all welded the right way. I can weld, but not good enough to trust my welds on a wall. But anyway, the wall actually went up. Once we got going, it went up pretty quick. But we couldn't start until after the Chili Bowl, and then you got weather you have to deal with. And but for the most part, we had a pretty mild winter, which was nice. We didn't have to deal with a bunch of snow and a bunch of cold temps. And Dave came in, and we got the wall welded up and got new fencing put up. And I've always been kind of a safety guy, right? And that's one of the things that we did this year too with our micros. Is we opened up a tech. All the cars had to come through a tech, and we kind of looked over everything and gave some of our customers some ideas of how they can make their drivers safer, and just to make sure that they had all the right safety equipment. And so that was a little bit of an undertaking too. But I wanted the track to be safe, and it really wasn't safe. So with our taller wall, that made it a lot better for the racers.
A lot of folks thought that our whole safety inspection and everything else was just a way to that it was just costing racers more money. But at the end of the day, it was more of an education purpose, right? A lot of folks didn't even know that belts went out of date or helmets went out of date and so forth and so on. So it was more of a purpose for us to educate our customers as well. And like you said, yes, they're our customers, but at the end of the day, I'm going to say 98.95% of them are our friends too, and we care about these people that come out here and race with us, because if they get hurt, then they can't come back and race and hang out with us and have a good time week in and week out. That's what's been going on at Port City. You've also been kind of heavily involved in promoting a race that's coming up here really quick. It's by the time this episode airs on YouTube and everything else, we're going to be the eve of the Shane Stewart's Heartland of America showdown at Lakeside. Man, the high limit race, you're going to kick it off with a bang at 50K.
Yeah.
Holy smokes. What are you thinking, Shane?
I don't know what I was thinking. So I reached out to Brad and Kyle in the early stages of them trying to put together the high limit deal. At that time, obviously, I didn't know that they were going to want to have, they were talking about having two 50,000 to win races throughout their 12 series schedule. But I didn't know Lakeside was going to be one of them, and obviously they wanted to start off with a bang, and I think it's going to be a bang. I'm telling you, I think the car count's going to be through the roof. Obviously, this early in the year to have a big paying race is new to the sprint car world. Everybody's itching to get that first 50K put in the bank, and our car count's going to be pretty big, I think, and hopefully the fans show up too. I mean, the vibe that we're getting, everybody's excited about it, but anyway, yeah. So I reached out to Kyle and Justin in the early stages of wanting to promote one of these races, and obviously Port City's not a sprint car track, so we had to try to find something that was close to us where we could somewhat manage it and not have to travel 8 to 10 hours to do it. And everybody at Lakeside working with Darren's been great so far, and I've had some good memories at Lakeside in the past, and I think it's going to be a great race, and we're excited about it, and looking forward to the event.
Bringing Trackhouse on board, this is kind of like a full circle moment, and everybody in every other interview has talked about it, but you cannot talk about it. The relationship that you had with Kyle and Justin Marks, whenever you ran for Larson Marks in the sprint car, you won a lot of races with them, and now to be on the promoting side with them, just talk about that experience and what Justin has taught you, because let's just face it, Justin Marks, the guy's got a brilliant mind, and he's got an eye for things.
He does, yeah. And I reached out to him originally just to have him help me, and then he started throwing out all these crazy ideas, and I'm like, it only makes sense for you to be my partner in this thing. And obviously, he can bring things to another level that I can't. And we've seen pictures of the trophies that are the trophy that they build in house there through their fab shop, and I haven't seen it personally, but from what I've been told, it's a pretty amazing trophy, and things like that is the hard part to do by yourself, right?
Absolutely.
And you need to have people like Justin in your corner, and obviously excited to have him as a partner of mine, and we've tried to come up with some ideas for him to be involved here at Port, because he's a racer, right? Like he understands where racing begins, and that was one of the reasons why he started GoPro, the Motorplex deal there in Charlotte. He loves to have the kids come and race, and that's a training ground. This is a training ground for who knows, it could be the next Trackhouse Cup driver that comes out of Port City. And so we, on a short note, we've been trying to kick around ideas for him to be involved at Port City, and he's been wanting to get on the promoting side and do a sprint car race, and the timing was right, and I think this is going to be a great event, and it's something that we're going to continue to work on and grow.
It's something outstanding that I just want to make note of. Those race fans that are watching on Flow as we are in our intermission at this point, folks are watching live at home. If they go to the race, they have an opportunity to sign up and win a VIP experience with Trackhouse, which I think is very, very cool. So if you're in the Kansas City area, if you're around Lakeside, within 3 hours of driving, you need to come out to the race and at least sign up for that and get your shot to win that ultimate VIP experience. That's going to be really cool.
Absolutely. And that's the thing that Justin's so good at. I can tell you that the 4 people who are going to win that, they are going to experience a really cool Kansas City Cup race. And you know, we were trying to figure out how we can tie the Cup track, Kansas City Speedway, in with our event, and Justin and them came up with this idea, and it's a great idea, and obviously you got to be at Lakeside to win the tickets, but there's going to be 4 people that are going to experience a really cool Cup race with Justin and his team.
Yeah, it's going to be a race that you're not going to want to miss out on. If you can't be there, watch it live on Flow. It's the Shane Stewart High Limit race there at Lakeside. Man, I can't wait for it. It's going to be a good time. Thanks, Shane.
Yes, sir. Thank you, buddy.
Performance Electronics, custom electronic solutions. From design to manufacturing, let us put your ideas in motion and become your company's full-service electronics manufacturing experts. Performance Electronics.